Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today in this video I am going to analyze the most requested paper from every one of you is IBS paper. I will be showing you my mistakes which I made in my IBS paper. Also the most important learnings that you need to know before giving your IBS paper. Understand this that IBS is the only paper that you have to actually solve in the 4 hours. Even if you do not prepare it well, if you actually give your 100% in the IBS paper in the 4 hours of giving that paper, you will pass that exam. Because no matter how much you study for IBS, it will still be limited for exam purpose. So how to approach that exam is a very different and a unique thing, and I will show you how to prepare for it as well, and how to write that exam in 4 hours. I will show you that as well. So without wasting much time, let's start with the video. So as you can see on the screen, I received 33 marks out of 60 marks in my IBS paper descriptive section, and I received only 12 out of 40 marks in my MCQ section. So in all other subjects, you will see that MCQs are your savior, but in IBS, your descriptive section is your savior. Because in descriptive part, you will still get some answers, but in MCQs, if your logic is not correct, you will definitely not get any marks. So in IBS, first thing you have to keep in mind that MCQs will be very tough. Secondly, descriptive section will help you save your IBS paper. So focus is on how to give your descriptive part rather than on MCQs. So I will show you how to actually write the descriptive section of IBS. And to know about the strategy of how to prepare IBS, I have actually made a video which you will find in the descriptive section as well in a playlist called as CA Final Exam. So I have made a detailed video of around 40 minutes of how to actually prepare IBS that will guarantee your success in the IBS exam. In this video, I will tell you how to approach the exam in the 4 hours. So let's start with the first question. So first thing that when you are giving your IBS paper, you have to analyze which question you have to do and which case study you have to skip. This is the first and the only thing that you have to do in the first 15 minutes. And how to do that is to analyze, is to read the descriptive questions and see which question you will be able to solve and which you will not be. And then start with the first question which you think that you are very sure of getting good marks in that particular descriptive case study. So start with that. So in this case, I started with question number 3.7 because it was related to calculating the trust taxation. So I started with it, and you might think that after reading the question that the question is very easy, but when you actually solve the question, you realize that there are very small nuances that will confuse you, and then the question becomes tough. So in the same way, this question number 3.7, it was a very easy question when you see the question, but when you solve it, you'll realize that there are very small nuances. I will tell you. So this was easy state government grant. In voluntary contribution, they tricked us. How did they trick us? Is they gave two parts of voluntary contribution. One where there is including foreign contribution, and second there was something in the bracket which told that name and address is not available. And from looking at it, you do not know which is the concept the question is talking about, because these questions you have not solved it anywhere. So this creates confusion, and it actually created confusion for me as well. I started the question and then I realized I do not know this concept, and then I referred the textbook, the module, and I wasted 20 minutes in just solving this question because it was the first question and I wanted to perfect it so that I get good marks. But then after 15 minutes I realized I have to move on, so I added this 15 as well. Actually, it is anonymous donation because the name and address is not available, so it is anonymous. You have to think like it. You have to have your mind open when you are solving IBS, because ICI will definitely trick you in each and every question. I will tell you the tricky part of each and every question, and then you will realize how tough IBS is, even if it is an open book. So name and address is not available. Then net income was easy. Corpus also they gave name and address is not available. But still, because it was corpus, I thought corpus is never added, so I did not add and I got good marks. But I got confused there. So see, name and address not available. He did not give me the marks, but there was a second assumption as well in suggested answer, so he did not cut me this mark. So in this way, the next part of the answer was totally wrong, and I received 2 out of 6 marks. So this is the tricky part, that in this question, it was not given that this is an anonymous donation, this is an anonymous donation. You have to think, you have to figure out what is the question saying, and then write the answer. This is the tricky part of IBS. But the first thing you have to realize, I have given down you the learnings that anonymous donation was given in a different way, and this is the most important thing in IBS. The first learning, that you have to write everything that you know. As you can see, I received 2 out of 6 marks. I did not get panicked, and I wrote everything I knew. So I received 2 marks for just four numbers, and that's it. But still you receive 2 marks. So in IBS, you have to write everything you know, even if you don't know. That's the thing. Now coming to the second question. This is costing question. And in costing, I will tell you that you will get the questions copy pasted from the module. You will definitely find the question, but the answer will always be different. because these kind of questions are case study specific. What I mean by is that in that particular question, the answer will be related to that case study which is in the module. But here the case study is different. The question is the same, but the case study is different and the answers become different. So how to write these kind of questions is you have to read the question from that module and read the answer as well and just find the keywords. So as you can see, these are the keywords: economy, second is efficiency, and third is effectiveness. So I received 3.5 out of 5 marks just because I wrote the keywords and I wrote everything I knew from the case study. I just jotted down the entire case study only, just mark the key keywords and that's it. I lost 1.5 marks because there were 2 more points, equity, and there was a 5th pillar as well. If I would have written equity, I would have received 4.5 out of 5. So in costing, you do not have to fear. You just have to write your own, but just write the keywords from that particular answer and that's it. So these 3 were the keywords and I received 3.5 marks. The half marks was just because I wrote this thing. Now coming to question number 3.8. So this was an AFM question, and the question asked about 3 risks. And I wrote transaction exposure, translation, and the other risk is economic exposure. This is totally wrong because as per the suggested, the risks are operational risk, currency risk, and there is a counterparty risk. So these were the 3 risks as per the suggested answer, and these kind of questions will come that will confuse you and you will write a different answer, but the suggested is different. You just have to write whatever you think is right. That is the key thing in IBS, that you will not write everything. Just write whatever you think it is right and just move on, because you will find confusion, you will get confusion each and every question. That is for sure. So just write with the gut and just move on. That is the very, very important learning of this question as well. So I received only half marks for it, and this is the learning that the tricky part will come in IBS. Each and every question will be tricky. Just you have to understand the concept. If you find a practical question, then understand the concept and just jot down the concept in the same manner. In case of theory questions, you have to have some kind of luck, because this was unlucky for me because I got confused and I wrote a different answer, but the answer in the suggested answer is also different. So this is the way. Now coming to question number 4.6, again a costing related question and a case study specific question. So the question is the same in the module, but the answer is different. So just write the keywords: inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing, and sales support. So I received 3 out of 6 marks just for writing these. These were not correct, I think so. That is why I did not give me much marks, but it is fine. You will not get full marks in these kind of questions because they are because they are subjective. The examiner also don't know the actual answer. He has been given a suggested answer. He will just tick mark the keywords and move on, because these are very lengthy answers and case specific answers. So my answer will be different, your answer will be different, every person answers will be different. So he just sees the keywords and just gives marks based on his examination. Another examiner would have given me 5 marks out of 6. This examiner gave me 3 out of 6. So in costing, the only thing that is a problem, that you have to write the case study specific answer and the examiner will give you marks as per his own understanding and knowledge. So, but still in costing, you will get the questions from the module only. You just have to write the keywords from that answer and write the answer as per the case study that is given to you. That is the thing. So you will find this PDF in a drive link which I have shared in the description. So do download it and watch it. Now coming to question number 4.7, and this is the trickiest part. So as you can see, the question only asks about GST paper, right? So there were 2 points. There was a purchase of machinery and there was a barter. But in case of purchase of machinery, it was written that it is an open market value. So as per rule 27 or 28, I do not remember it, but open market value is the first thing you consider, right? But in that question, I felt that they are tricking me. The question is tricking me to look at open market value and do not write the barter thing. So I thought, let me just write the barter thing. So this was incorrect. The entire thing was incorrect, just because you do not have to consider the barter. Since the purchase of price is the open market value, the GST will be calculated on 7,50,000 and the 1,35,000 is the answer. So it is just a one-liner answer. 7,50,000 into 18% is equal to 135. If I would have written that kind of answer, I would have gotten a lot of marks. But this is the tricky part. I told you, in each and every question you will find something tricky, and this is the learning that I want to tell you, that you have to go with your gut. Everything in the question will confuse you. Just follow what is the module is saying, what is your textbook is saying, and just write that in that particular practical question and just move on. Just think you are right and move on. because every question will be confusing. This was confusing. The first question was confusing. You saw that operational risk and currency risk question was also confusing. So that is the thing. In IBS, even if it is an open book, it is not an open book. I've told it many a times. I will tell you many times that you have to follow your gut, read the question, read the module, and whatever the module is saying, just write that particular answer and just move on. I will show you where I followed my gut and I received a lot of good marks. So I received only 0.5, and just writing this section number, I received marks. Otherwise, the entire question was 0. Now coming to the next question, question number 4.8. And I will tell you that audit is the only subject in IBS that will give you marks and that will not confuse you. That is the only thing that I realized while analyzing my RTI paper, that audit is the easiest of all the subjects, easiest of all the questions. As you can see, it was related to professional ethics, and even in your audit, it is an important chapter, even in IBS. So I received 3 out of 3 marks. I received full marks in audit, and that is the thing. In IBS, the audit questions are very easy. You just have to understand which chapter it is talking about and write the entire thing, just like you write in audit. So find out case studies where audit questions are asked and do solve them, and skip the one case study where no audit question is asked. Now coming to the next question, 2.7. Yeah, this is a very, very important thing that I want to tell you, that you have to take everything. What I mean by everything, that you have to take your module, your own books which you have purchased from the faculties, even the RTPs and the MTPs of that particular May exam or Jan 26 or November 25. Take everything that you have, because you see in this question, this is a question from the Jan 26 FR RTP. I have read it, I have learned it, and I got a very similar question in the IBS paper, but I did not take the RTP. I did not take the RTP, but still I got 2 marks just for writing the numbers and the entries. See, the entry is wrong. Here the retail answer is retained earnings. If I would have taken my RTP and I would have seen the answer, then my answer would be correct. Here, as you can see, you just have to write 2 journal entries. See, I received 2 out of 4 marks by writing only 2 journal entries. And that is the thing. In IBS, you have to take everything. I'm telling you, just take everything. Don't think the bag is getting very heavy. You will regret it. At this point of time, I was regretting that I did not have my RTP with me, because these were easy 4 marks. If I would have my RTP, I would have gotten the entire marks. But still, I knew some part of that answer, so I was able to write it. Expense to dividend. Just for writing this, I got 1 marks. My numbers are incorrect, but writing the entry, I give the examiner gave me the marks. Now coming to question number 2.8, and yes, this is also an audit question. And I have told you, in audit, you will get full marks. Just you have to attempt it, and attempt it like an audit paper. So the keywords have the mark. See, matter causes the financial statement to be materially misstated. Inquiry karo. Then other type of procedure. It is, I think so, SRE 2400 or 2410. I think, I don't remember the chapter, but this is the thing. Qualified opinion, adverse opinion. Just writing the keywords, I received 5 out of 5 marks. And I don't know, this question as per the question paper is just a 4-marker question, but I received 5 marks. I don't know, the suggested answers, they gave me 5 marks, but in the suggested question, I will just show you. So as you can see on the screen, the question number 2.8 is of 4 marks only. But I received 5 marks in question number 2.8. So I think so, while giving the suggested answer, they thought this is a 5-marker question and gave me 5 marks. But this is luck. I will not tell you that I received because of writing full answer. This is just luck for 1 mark. But as you have seen, the audit questions are very easy. They are from the textbook, and you have to just understand the question and write the keywords. You can also copy paste the entire answer from the module and you will get the marks. Now coming to question number 5.7, and this is a very lucky question, because before writing this question, I was about to write question number 1. And while writing the first question of that case study, I felt trickiness and I thought that I will not be able to solve the entire thing or get good marks. So I came back to question number 5. I was about to leave this question, but then seeing the question number 1 and writing that question, first descriptive question, I felt that there is some tricky thing and I will not be able to get good marks. So I moved to question number 5. So this is the thing. Even if you have selected the 4 case studies that you will be doing, while writing that descriptive question, if you are not able to solve it, just move on and write another case study which you are going to skip. Because in question number 5, I found one question which I knew it is easy. So this was the question. So it talked about currency risk, how to identify, and I just wrote from the directly from the answer book, and I received 5 out of 5. So it was a very copy pasted answer. In IBS, there will be some questions that you have to identify Just like audit, you will get copy pasted question as well as the answer. In AFM, you will get one or two copy pasted questions and answers if it is a theory question. If it is a practical question, then you have to just read the concept and apply it that particular case study or question. But in theory, you will still get a copy pasted answer. In costing, you will not find that. In costing, the questions are copy pasted, but the answers are very case study specific. So this is the thing, this is the learning, that I found that the question 5 was easy, one question was easy, and I moved on. This was a very tough question. It contained of ICTS 6, which I skipped. I did not read it while doing my DT paper, and it contained another of this is the foreign exchange thing as well. So it was a very tricky thing. I read the concept and I thought I will not be able to do it. So I just wrote the concept that it will be added to the cost only if it is an actual payment. And since there was no actual payment, I did not add the foreign exchange gain or loss. So this was the actual cost. And after it, I just calculated the depreciation based on it. And the answer is totally correct. I received 5 out of 5 marks. So as I've told you that just read the concept and write whatever you think is right, because there will be many confusion in that particular question. You will think this is right, this is wrong, how will I tackle it? Just follow that concept and just write that concept. As simple as that. I have told you above as well that follow your gut. Whatever your gut is saying, go with it, because there will be many confusing questions. And if you get confused in that particular question and write something which you don't feel it is right, then you will definitely not get one. So in my previous questions, I did not get any marks because I was confused and I wrote whatever is not in that concept. In this question, I just wrote whatever is there in the concept and I got 5 out of 5 marks. So I have told you that there will be many confusing things in that particular question. So you have to ignore them. There will be many points and you will see you have to just solve 10 or 12 case studies before going to the exam, and start with Jan 26 and move back. So you have to actually solve Jan 26 MTP, RTP, the actual paper, then September 25 MTP, RTP and actual paper, and then go with May 25 MTP, RTP, and then November 24. Before that, it is a very easy paper of May 24. Do not do that. And if still you have time, then go with the IBS, the case booklet. Otherwise, just give the 4 papers and the 4 MTPs, RTPs, and you will realize that there are very tricky things that you have to tackle while giving your IBS paper. And now coming to question number 5.6, this question I was writing when there was only 15 minutes left. And this is a very, very lucky answer. Here I did not get any marks because it was just a 1 marker question. So there were 2 parts in that question, one for 1 marks and another for 4 marks. So I knew I will not get the marks. So I just moved on. But the second part, I knew I will have to find it. And this is a very copy pasted answer. This is very copy paste. If you find the question, if you find the relevant provision, you have to just copy paste it. But where you will find that answer? It was in the module of FR, first module, first chapter, and in the 54th page. So the concept talked about accounting policy change, right? And this concept is in 2 chapters. First is the 8th chapter, which is purely about accounting policy, and the first chapter, which is the basic one. Every one of us would have started searching the answer in the 8th chapter. So I also started with that. I just wanted to find where this question will be. And there is no way that you will find everything in that module. You have to just be very fast and only see the heading and move on. So in 8th chapter, I read the entire headings and I felt that there is no answer in this. So I moved on with the first chapter and I searched in each and every page. In the 54th page, when reading that point, I realized that this is the answer. This might be the answer. And I wrote that. So I received 3 out of 4 marks. And this is what luck is. That this is in the module first chapter 54th page, and you are getting confused in 8th and first chapter as well, and you have never read the module as well. So these kind of questions will be there. You have to be very smart. You have to be very fast as well. These copy pasted questions, you have to attempt it, because if you write down the actual module answer, you will get full marks, but you have to find these answers. So as you can see, in the entire IBS paper, there are 2 or 3 type of questions. First, which is the copy pasted question. Like in audit, I received copy pasted. In AFM theory part, I received copy paste. Second, in costing, the question is copy pasted, but the answer you have to write on your own. And in costing, you will find these kind of questions only. And the third and the most important thing, that there will be tricky questions. And you have to go with your gut. This is the most important learning in IBS, and you do not have to give up. The first thing that you have to keep in mind, that IBS is the only paper out of 6 paper. No matter how much you study, how much you prepare, you will not get the marks. The only thing that you have to keep in mind that in IBS, the 4 hours are the most important. No matter how much you prepare or you not even prepare at all, but if you give your 100%, if you do not give up in these 4 hours, you will clear IBS. I have received 45 marks in my IBS paper, the least of all the 6 subjects, but I did not give up. The paper was very tough, it was very tricky, but still I did not give up. So as you can see in this paper as well, I was about to write question number 1, but I chose to write question number 5 because at that moment I felt that I will be able to give my 100% in question number 5 and get good marks. In question number 1, I will not get good marks, and I followed my gut. This is the only thing I want to tell you, that in IBS, how much you study will not matter. The ability to think on the feet is very, very necessary. The ability to change your decision, that you cannot do this, just move on and do the next one. The ability to be very fast, that is the thing that you have to remember. That in IBS, maybe it is a very waste of the time subject, but still, it is there and you have to clear it to clear your CA final. So this is the learning I wanted to share with you, that no matter how you are doing in IBS, how much you prepare in IBS, 4 hours are the most important. Just remember that and be very sharp. Follow your gut, and that will only get you clear in IBS. There are many learnings in this paper. I have written down each and every learning, and you can refer to this PDF in the descriptive section. So that's it from this video. I know that many of you are very, very scared of this paper, and I was also scared because this paper is very illogical. You have written down 5 papers and still you have to go through each and every paper in the 6th as well. So it is a very illogical paper, but still you have to clear it. And the only way to clear it, I have shown you how to clear this exam. Even if it is one of the toughest paper, still I received 45 marks. I did not give up. I did not get any grace marks as well. If I would have gotten 40, then I would have thought that I got grace marks, but I received 45 marks. So that was entirely me and my hard work to solve that exam and not giving up while giving my exam in that 4 hours. So that's it from this video. I know that you have learned a lot from this video. So do share this video with your friends and all those students who are going to give their exams in May 26 or in September 26, because these learnings will apply in each and every attempt. So do share this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed it yet. So thank you so much for watching this video. Do study well, give your 100% because there is only 1 month left, and give your everything, because once you clear your exam, you will have a relief that you want and you will have that 10 minutes that I felt. So do study well, take care of your health, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye-bye.